It's time to spread your wings and fly, but expect turbulence. What does turbulence mean? Turbulence, violent or unsteady movement of air or water or some other fluid, conflict or confusion. Now, I had gave somebody a ride in Uber, and it was a pilot. His name was Joseph, and I asked him, what was turbulence? And he told me a few things, how the air goes over the mountains and stuff like that. And he also told me that, they can predict it, if there is a plane like in front of them as a distance and the air coming back. And how many people tell you stay in your lane? But what if somebody's in your lane with you? Ooh, or trying to come over to your lane or cross over. But then he said, sometimes you just can't predict it. It just happens. But they don't never stop flying. It's time to grab your wings. It says turbulence is caused by mountains, a sudden violent shift in the airflow. Let's read the word. Matthew 11:23. For verily I say unto you, that whatsoever you shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe those things which he saith shall come to pass, and he shall have whatsoever he said. But what about if there were some mountains we got to go through? Yeah, we can cast them in the sea, but mountains of life, like our children being disobedient, or our children going through some things, or they're not listening. People at work, people in the church, that manager or that person that you work with at your job that think they the manager. Like, you even get paid that much. Like, relax. Some people we deal with on a daily basis, things like that. There are certain mountains, if sometimes if a loved one dies, we can't just cast that mountain into the sea. The first time I preached sermon was some mountains we got to go through. But let's look at what eagles do. So I got this from YouTube. It says how an eagle tackles a storm. So I didn't do this, but I'm just reading what they said. Eagles know when a storm is approaching long before it breaks. That's hashtag discernment. The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the wind to come. When the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. James 1:2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Verse 3, knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience, or the trying of patience work patience. Again, this is from the video. While the storm rages below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle does not escape the storm. It simply uses the storm to lift it up. Isaiah 40:31. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. A lot of y'all got to give y'all self credit. I'm going to tell you why. You might not be where you want to be, but thank God you're not where you used to be. There's levels in this when it comes to God. But regardless of what mountain, if you're trying to climb it, you ain't got to climb at the pace that nobody else is climbing. If you got to crawl up the mountain, then you got to crawl up the mountain. Don't worry about that. Sometimes we compare ourselves to people and we be like, we should be this far ahead because they're far ahead. Don't worry about that. Some have gotten there because they have did some unjustly things. Some have gotten there because they deserve, whatever the case may be. But don't worry about how long it takes for you to climb your mountain. Don't worry about that. If you got to crawl up your mountain, that's fine. As long as you make it, that's all that matters. It took me, 14 years? 14 years to get my degree. I got it. Can't nobody ever take that away from me. And yeah, I stopped and then I went back, because God told me to. But I got my degree. You know what I'm saying? It said superlative I got in high school was, most likely to succeed. It still holds true. It don't matter how long it take you. But understand this, it's time to get your wings. And that's why I say count it all joy, because we can use those opportunities to gain patience. We can use those opportunities to get better. You know what I'm saying? That's what we can do. So when we get that patience, we can say, you know what? About 6 months ago, I might have slapped you or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good thing when there's progress. And that's what Frederick Douglass said. He said, without struggle, there is no progress. So your motivation, keep going. I'm believing in you. I'm praying for you. We're going to stay under 5 minutes. I got 4 seconds. So keep pushing. Love y'all.